Hey everyone, Monica Punyani again. I hope you're staying away from fear, doubt, and anxiety, FDA. And remember how to stay away from them? Fear, you stay away with faith. You even it out, you kick it out with faith, and then you kick out doubt with love, and you kick out anxiety with living in the now, in the moment, and not worrying too much about what's next. And you can't anyway change the past. Oh, talking about anxiety reminds me how everybody right now in America, in northern part of America, I should say, is all very eager because we're all so eager to see our vegetable gardens grow and all the, zucchinis and the squash and the eggplants and tomatoes. Everybody's so desperately waiting on that because we're getting all that anxiety. I mean, yeah, we sowed all those seeds months ago, and now is the time to reap, and we're getting very impatient. But that's what anxiety is. You gotta calm down. There's a season to sow and a season to reap, and you just can't do it in the same season. I think that's an awesome statement to remember. There's a season to sow and a season to reap, and you just can't do both in the same season. I remember listening to it somewhere on one of the seminars, and I think this is awesome. But anyway, I know we ended with abundance factor, like abundance versus scarcity. I know everybody tries to scare everybody with the whole fact that there's scarcity of jobs, there's not enough jobs out there, there's not enough food out there, there's not enough money out there. And of course, I remember this was like crazy, somebody trying to tell me that we're gonna run out of drinking water in this planet. And I'm like, are you even serious? They said no, they're predicting within the next 10 years or so there'll be no drinking water available. I said, this planet is 3/4 water. What are you even talking about? So please do not listen to people. All this is done only for commercial purposes, okay? They create all these monsters and ghosts and boogeymans for us so that we live in fear constantly. So please, please, please do not listen to all these commercial things. And talking about commercial things, oh my God, that reminds me another thing about how this whole drug industry, the pharmaceutical industry, is making so much money by just creating fear. And they're always putting commercials on TV, billboards everywhere. Then 1 out of 3 people will definitely have a stroke, or chances of heart disease, and chances of diabetes. And so they're programming our mind because they want more drugs to be out there, and these commercials are actually, and you look around, you're like 3 people right there, and I was like, okay, if he doesn't have it and he doesn't have it, I've got to have stroke, or I've got to have the heart problem. So just think before you start programming yourself, because these things are out there just to program your mind, because it's all commercial purposes. So please do not let those ghosts and boogeymans and just monsters, don't let them get to you, because they are just planting the seed in your head, and now it's all up to you to water that seed and let it get sunlight and let it get everything, and then it'll bloom into whatever they want it to. So they might be able to put the seed in the springtime, but watering it and taking care of the seed is your responsibility. So you better not take care of the wrong seeds, because they are putting all these wrong seeds in your head. All right, well, that part is that. And then now let's talk about a little bit of, I had somebody tell me that on my last video I talked something about, how you you gotta love people, trust people. People are lovely. They're like, all this, all um, the bad qualities of people are only on the surface, which is true. I mean, I remember we used to go to the holy river Ganges back home. Ganga, Ganges is more American Western, but it's actually Ganga River. Um, And I remember my dad used to fill up those big bottles of the holy water for people standing there, old ladies who wouldn't want to come in the water, and they'd ask my dad to fill it up. And I used to be standing there, I was his little baby out there all the time. And I remember he would always tell me, you don't just fill it up from the top, because then there's a lot of dirt and filth on top of the water. He says, go upside down like this, upside down with the canister all the way to the bottom, and then flip it around and fill it up, and the water would be pure like anything. And that taught me a lesson, and he told me the same thing too. He said that the impurities of the water are only on the surface. On the bottom where the flow is, it is pure as hell. And that, and I related that to human beings too. It is true. All our impurities are right on the surface. Inside our heart, we're all the same. We're all one. Remember, we're not alone. We're all one. And not only that, I mean, inside we are pure people. We are loving people. It's just outside, because of all these fear, doubt, and anxiety, we create all these walls around us, all these prisons around us, and we just like, because of that, we're like, acting in fear. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. So yeah, I mean, all the impurities, and that's what I say even to my friends, that, you know, no matter who it is, even the worst criminal or worst person, you send a little toddler, like a 6-month-old baby, even, and that baby is fearless. Babies are born fearless. That's the way we are supposed to live our life. But then, of course, everything changes. Um, but yeah, babies are fearless, and you send that child to that person, because that child is not judging the person or labeling the person. He's not judging anybody. The child is not. So, and you'll see, they'll just come up with a smile. I mean, that person, whoever it is on the other side, whoever that is, might be the most negative person on earth, might just end up smiling at the little toddler, because the toddler is filled with love. They have no fear. They're really fearless, and they have no doubt about anybody. They don't judge anybody. They don't label anybody. And that's the way we were born, and we're supposed to go on like that, but we end up catching the disease of fear, doubt, and anxiety, and let go of all the good qualities that we needed to remain with. Only once you get older is when you realize that, oh my God, I, I lived my life not being me. I lived my life not being an individual, my uniqueness. I just lived my life copying everybody, trying to fit in. And now I realize that I wasn't meant to fit in. And I tell people, you don't have to try too hard to fit in. Just be yourself. I mean, when you're meant to stand out, you don't have to try to fit in. I mean, look at every tree, look at every plant, even a saw of grass. Every single one is unique. Why do we want to be the same? We don't have to fit in. Just be who you are. Like I said, you're born with all these great qualities, and then life takes on. You catch on all these diseases, and then by the time you're above 50, that's when you realize, man, I never lived my life. It's about time I be me. And then again, the same thing. Your younger generation says, oh, you're embarrassing me. Well, because you're just being you. Okay, that's that. And then we got yeah, somebody else. I'm trying to remember all these points, because somebody mentioned something about, yeah, we're living in the world of duality, there's good and bad. No, the absence of good is actually bad. I mean, there is no bad. It's just, if there's no good, the absence of good is bad. Just like there is no word like darkness, actually. It's just the absence of light, which is darkness. Same thing with life. There is no death. Life and death, it's the same thing. It's basically, absence of life is death. So absence of life is death. Absence of good is bad. Absence of light is darkness. So why have all those absences? If you have enough good life and light in your life, you won't have to worry about the bad stuff, because the bad stuff is only the absence of the good stuff. Okay, I hope I answered most of your questions, and keep sending your comments, your emails, and everything. I'm so happy that I'm able to make a difference and make you people think. That's all I want to do is make people think. I'm not trying to convince anybody. I'm not saying go flip your world upside down, but just start thinking a little more and stay away from FDA. Fear, doubt, and anxiety. All right, I will see you when I have something else to say. Have a beautiful day.